Classic. The Modern Man Podcast.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Modern Man Podcast. Today, we are sitting here on a beautiful Thursday at Quan Vessel's Martial Arts Academy. We're going to be discussing a little bit about educated violence and life. There's very few people in the country who know better about these two topics than the gentleman that I'm sitting with today, Mr. Richie Quan. Welcome to the Modern Man.
Cool. Thank you for having me.
It's finally getting to do this, bro.
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while.
So, man, I'm just going to jump right into it. Tell me a little bit about you. Not about what you do, just who is Richie Quan, for those who don't know you?
I'm a simple person. So I just like to obtain a lot of skill and knowledge. So in short, that's basically who I am. And nothing special. I'm just obsessed with, gaining information, skills, and knowledge. Yeah.
And what led you to think like that? If I could say, have that kind of mindset, why do you think that way?
Yeah, I mean, not everyone thinks that way. So it's odd for me not to understand why people wouldn't think that way. But I've always been like this. So it's hard for me to understand why. I love to learn new things. I like to have new skills all the time. I understand the importance of the skills I need as a man. So I'm always trying to obtain, and it's a never-ending story because there's so much out there. So every day is just literally about, obviously, my job as a coach in martial arts. I'm always trying to keep up to date and improve my skill set for my students. But then behind closed doors, I do a lot of other things and try to obtain a lot of that information every day as well.
Yes. So this podcast is called The Modern Man, bro. What kind of skill sets do you believe, like the modern man this day and age? Obviously, I've had a lot of podcasts where we discuss a lot of lack of masculinity. What kind of skill sets do you think the modern man at the moment is lacking in this generation, if I can say that?
A lot of guys get asked that question and make it such a complicated thing. You know? Just your primal skills. So, be able to protect your family and your loved ones. That's a simple one, But in terms of that, I would just break it down in terms of what don't you know, you should know. At the end of the day. And there's a lot of things as humans we don't know, and we make excuses of why or what's not important, what is important. But there's certain things in life that is very, very important. And a pretty easy one for me to explain is just, you should know violence. This is pretty simple, there's nothing bad about it. People like to paint it with a brush.
I was about to say, it's got a bad rep. When you say the word violence, it sounds like such a harsh word. Jordan B. Peterson speaks about it. Obviously, you can't be a good man if you aren't capable of violence.
There you go.
So being capable of violence but choosing to be good is obviously a lot better than not being able to do anything. Then
100%.
It just becomes weak.
100%.
And is that something you'd teach here at your martial arts?
I mean, we've got an ethos. We've got a community that understands how Chef and I like to do things and our mentality, and we're big into our ethos. And we love mastery, courage. It's hard for the modern day man to kind of understand, because you get mixed up in social media and all the other nonsense out there. But it's just down to primal skills and understanding what you really need. Because the other stuff, if you don't have it, then what do you have? With these skills, no one can take it away from you. And with these skills, you also become quite a high valued individual if you have these skills. We in our school, there's a lot of subpar communities. So we're known as the martial arts, but we do a lot within the community that people don't know, that we provide these skills to our community.
So now tell me, as you say, having these capabilities, these skills and stuff like that, what kind of, I wouldn't even say problems you could arise, but having these skills and then not having a strong mindset, or call it mentality, being able to commit these acts of violence, but then not having the mindset to not, like, let's say, lose control or something like that. How important is that mentality part?
Yeah. So again, a lot of people like to use that as a defense of, But for me, if you're doing skills every day, if you are doing violence every day, if you're doing medical every day, if you're doing navigation stuff every day, if you're doing educating people, learning how to teach, and all of these things every day, if you're practicing it every day, you're going to have some type of control over it.
Yes,
it's not going to control you.
Yeah.
So it's the guys that say they're doing something, but they actually have no idea and they're not doing it. They're very good at talking. They know the lingo. They might be in the community. They understand. They can pretend, but they actually don't do it every day. It's like with men. I'm like, well, why don't you train every day violence? What's your excuse?
Yeah.
It's an hour, 2 hours a day. I don't understand. You go to the gym, you lift weights, or you go play a useless sport like a ball game.
Yeah.
Like you'll hit a ball around a court, like paddle, but you won't get on the mat and learn a vital skill that could do
Save
something for your life,
yeah.
you know? So like, you'll never see me doing, for me, meaninglessly stuff like playing soccer. Like for me, what do you
just disrespected two of my sports, man.
What are you actually doing with your life? There's so much. You can have fun while obtaining skills and bettering yourself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, for me, it's if you practice every day what you need to practice, you'll have a control over it. It won't control you.
Yes, yeah. So as you say that you see it as a meaningful thing, you have to know how to do it. Yeah. The violence, obviously, it's just to be able to do your primal instinct. You say, as a man, look after your family, look after yourself, look after those
100%,
around you. Because that's basically our point on this earth. Like it's our responsibility. A man needs to have that responsibility of taking care of somebody else.
I always tell guys, it's your duty.
Yeah, it's your duty.
It's your duty at the end of the day. No one says you have to be this professional in it. No one says you have to make a living out of it. No. But who says you? I've got athletes. I've got day-to-day normal people that have families that have the skills, but they're not professional athletes, but they have the skills. So what's the difference? For me, I don't understand that.
Okay. No, I get you. And now tell me, I want to know a little bit more of your story from the beginning, bro. Like, how did you get into the fighting game? Like, where did you start?
So I left South Africa when I was like 9 years old.
Oh, really? Okay.
And I went to Thailand, Asia. I started out in Muay Thai, fought there for basically my whole teenager life. I was there. Then at around 18, I went to the US. I was in the US, got introduced obviously to then Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, wrestling, mixed martial arts. Was at its infant stages there. I had a school there. It was so early that mixed martial arts was illegal still in the United States. So we had to fight on like Indian land, like Palm Springs, Mexico.
I didn't know that it was illegal.
Yeah, it was illegal. So we used to travel to all these places to compete. Had very big names back in those days that eventually became very, very, very big names now. And then I came back to South Africa and there was nothing here. Literally, there was nothing here. There was some events in Durban. You were fighting in a tent. Like the skill set in the country was basically null and void because no one had gone out to collect skill and information and bring it back and then provide it.
Yes.
So it was I could see there was a massive void there, and my whole life had been martial arts, and I'd been basically everywhere.
Yeah. Especially at a young age like that.
At a young age, and so I opened up a school.
Yeah.
And the rest is kind of history. Yeah. Every big name you can think of, that's basically 90% of the names that have come out of this country have been on my mat. And that's kind of the whole story in a short form.
And now, what do you think about the sport, the levels that it's at in the country at the moment? So as you say, when you got here, it was null and void. But fighting and martial arts and educated violence is now becoming a lot more popular these days. Like a lot more people are.
Super easy.
Is it becoming like a little bit of a trend at the same time, to say, oh, I'm now a boxer? Like I've seen that go a little bit on social media.
I actually think the MMA trend was way bigger a few years ago. Like when EFC was at its highest.
Okay, yeah.
We had a lot more guys wanting to to do the sport. Now we have a lot more fans that are actually just fans. They love to watch it, but they don't want to get involved, which is great. You know, it's a total different story. Don't get me wrong. Now to be in combat sports is easy. You know, it's easy to have a manager. Eyes are on us. It's easy to get into. There's tons of different promotions now, so you can fly all over the world and fight in different promotions. It's easy now. Back in those days, it wasn't like that at all.
What are the promotions, like the big ones? Obviously, you got UFC, bro. Like that's the one on everybody.
Yeah. So like
what else
in the Western world, you got the UFC, you got Bellator.
Yes.
You got PFL.
Yeah.
Then you got the like smaller events like LFA, Cage Warriors. You know, that are kind of like the breeders, the feeders to those big events.
Yes,
and then
so it's like League 2, if you can call it.
Yeah. So like, remember, you've got to be an amateur. Then when you go pro, you've got to build your record and make yourself a name. And then from there, the bigger promotions, or your manager is the gatekeeper. He will basically get you into one of these promotions. Whoever kind of wants you. That's a different topic. And then in Asia, you got Risen, which is for me probably one of the biggest promotion.
Yes.
And then you've got ONE FC.
Yeah.
And they kind of they're the guys. PFL is pretty big now. And
is there South African fighters in those leagues?
Yeah, so Don Madge is in there. And PFL now was in Europe and in Middle East, and they're coming here next year.
Oh, lovely.
So I think you know, and with Drickus as well, I think like UFC will be here soon. PFL is going to be here. So it's great for this generation now.
Yes.
It's easy for them to make this this a career if they really want to. And you obviously got other promotions like Brave. There's a lot. That's the thing. There's a lot.
Not like it used to be.
Not like it used to
be.
Limited. It's literally a handful.
Yes.
And obviously our local event EFC is doing very well for the local market. You need a local event. You need the local market.
Yes.
So everything is good for the athlete these days.
Yes. So you spoke there about it's easier for now people to make a career out of this. But obviously there's a lot of, how do I say, medical questioning about it. You know, a lot of people will be like, oh, don't go do this if you're going to get smacked in the head week in, week out. And then by 50, you're going to, you know.
How old is boxing, bro? How old is rugby?
Yeah, you see, this is what I'm saying. Yeah. So what do you like when people say that kind of stuff? Is that like the, you know?
A sport at the end of the day, and you can get CTE in any kind of contact sport. So like, it's more about how you train. I think you do more damage in training than actually in the fight.
100%,
so choose wisely in terms of your coaches and facilities. Are they training correctly? Are they not training correctly? You'll know. You'll know. And I think
let's say we'll know. The people watching this, they want to get into the sport. What are the kind of things they would look out for a gym? Obviously, you got your own. You know a lot of the gyms around there. You know the good qualities of a gym. What is a bad quality to look for? You know what I mean?
So take a university.
Okay.
What's a good university? Say like Oxford University. If you walk into Oxford University, what do you immediately see? You see probably a clean facility. You see a history. They have a long history. You meet the professors. You can see they're intelligent. They know what they're talking about. So it's pretty much the same thing with the facility, right? Is it a cleanliness gym? Does it have rules and regulations? Does it have educated coaches? Are they punctual, structured? Is there a syllabus? Is there not a syllabus? All of these type of things. It's for me, that's how I see it. Everyone has a different view of it. I don't run my facility like a nightclub where there's no rules and regulations. For me, it's not a club. I'm here to provide you a service. I'm here to provide you a skill, and I take it very seriously. Every tribe has its vibe. So
we were speaking about that.
So every person has what they feel. They might feel that they want to be in a facility that's like very easy-going, and you can do what you want and wear what you want and say what you want and kind of like do your own.
In a way.
Yeah, kind of do your own thing. I'm we could say purist, a martial artist. So I still like the discipline factor of everything. You could say old school. That's how it should be. I don't know what new school means in terms of that.
So if you look at it, well, how I would depict new school in my head is obviously you see a lot of society now. They're very, wouldn't even say opinionated. They get offended a lot, you know.
Yeah.
You obviously get the youngsters, they say, okay, cool, now I want to come and train at this gym because they see these things. And then you come in here, you tell them shit, you just be like, listen, as you say, go wash your fucking feet before you step on my mat.
Yeah.
Then, you know, they would get offended. That's like, I would say, is new school. And
Yeah.
that's where they lack the discipline.
Yeah, see, my brain, I can't even understand that. So
It doesn't fathom.
My brain doesn't even process information like that. If you look at the best combat athletes in the world are what? Dagestanis at the end of the day. They look at numbers. Numbers don't lie.
100%,
I'm a guy
yeah.
that looks at numbers. I don't
Yeah.
put emotions into stuff because as a coach, that's what you need to do. You can look at a guy like Khabib's team. They're on the mat. There's PFL champs, UFC champs, Bellator champs, guys that are making millions, that are super popular, that could retire. When they step on the mat, it's yes sir, no sir. They all line up. They all do the schedule. They all arrive on time. They all do what they are told. And they're the best in the world. And because there's structure and there's discipline. Without structure and discipline, who are we?
That's true. That's true. I mean, I'm like, it takes me to that quote. I don't know if you like the whole Andrew Tate thing, but when he said about the whole Conor versus Khabib, he's like, how do you expect someone who parties and works on business to beat someone who prays and trains?
100%.
There's no winning at that one.
It's pretty simple if you think about it.
Yes, yeah.
You know, you can take 100 top of the athletes in any sport in the world, and you'll find a few that are odd in terms of they do not the correct things that people would think. But out of 100 of them, majority of them will be disciplined and have routine and structure, you know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I believe in is that. So.
Because obviously you see someone like, let's just take for example, Conor McGregor, you know, he built a brand, or he's, as you say, the manager built a brand. He was just kind of the face on it. But he was doing the whole, not humble, like, you know, swearing, doing whatever, being loud about it. And you get someone like Khabib, and yet I wouldn't even say there's no right or wrong. Obviously, when it comes to sports entertainment, you kind of have to put on like a personality in a way. You don't even know what that person might be like in person. So you're obviously more on like, you enjoy the more the humble side, the more respect.
Yeah, so in our sports, it's anything can go.
Yeah.
There's, like you said, there's no right or wrong. So it's usually the community you're in will allow what personality you want. So, you know, Conor is who he is because he's been allowed to do that and he's made his name. Don't get me wrong. What I don't like is that's not who I am. I have morals, ethics. I have the way I like to do things. And you can still do and make your money that way. It's depending on what journey you want to take and the individual. That's why I say, like, every coach
Different
can choose its student and every student can choose its coach.
Okay.
You know, and it doesn't, you know, if that's not how you want to do it, then that's not how you want to do it. But you can't say what's right or wrong because you can have examples of the left and you can have examples of the right. But for me, I'm not that type of person. I don't want to be around those type of people. So like, my people that are around me know.
I was about to say, what kind of people do you keep around you, bro? Because you obviously said you can't even fathom that new school kind of thing. So obviously that doesn't happen in your everyday life kind of thing. You don't experience it.
I just keep simple as good humans.
Good humans.
I just want good humans around me.
Okay.
Yeah, people that have morals, ethics, understand rules and regulations. I have a very, very small circle, and if you don't have skills, you're not in my circle.
I get you.
So this is one skill. If we're just going to talk about martial arts, you only in a part of my life. My life is very diverse, and people that are close to me or even in my community know that this is one part of my life. So in terms of you asking me who's around me, it's people that have a very vast variety of skills. Those are the people in my small circle.
So then you say this is one part of your life, the martial arts and everything. What else is there part of your life? Like give me like a little hobby that you do or anything else.
So you know, I'm big into learning about the medical field.
Really?
People call it tactical medicine. It's just medicine at the end of the day. We shoot a lot. I'm very heavily involved in
training and everything.
Very involved in firearms training. I'm very involved in basically those type of skills. You know, communications, navigations.
Because we live in a country where those skills are like needed. I mean, obviously over the world it's needed, but obviously in South
People
Africa,
say that, but I
Yeah.
can ask you, do you own a gun?
myself,
Yes.
no, I'm waiting for my license.
Why not? How old are you?
27.
It's taking you that long to get a firearm.
I know,
So it's needed,
I know.
yet I can ask probably everyone in this room if they own firearms, and half of them or even more will say no.
Yes.
And you just said we live in a country that, do you have the skills?
That's true.
So this is my point is,
Yeah.
for me, my brain doesn't process how
Why
men
wouldn't you do that?
don't have these things. It doesn't, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
Because we live in a country that's pretty high chance of us needing these skills.
Yes.
Not only that, it's cool to have. It's good knowledge to
It's
have.
cool to have.
You
Yeah.
build a better bonding with friends, and you meet new people, and your circle gets a little bit diverse in terms of that. So you saying that, but I can guarantee you probably 80% of your circle,
Don't. Yeah.
no,
I could probably tell you,
they'll
like, maybe
think
I know about 5 people of my actual friends. Well, not my close friends, but friends that I know that actually own a gun, yeah.
yeah, and
Or know how to shoot
owning
properly.
a gun, or you're a liability, or you're an asset to society. You can own a gun, sits in the safe, or you own the gun, you carry it, but you shoot once a year. What does that actually mean? You know?
So obviously, we're going to get people that are going to watch this and be like, oh, gun violence and, guns should be banned. I know.
Look at the stats.
Yeah.
I just tell people, look at Gun-Free South Africa. That's who maybe wants to watch the podcast and say something. They will get murdered in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's no facts in what you are saying.
Yeah. 'Cause it's
Look at countries that the government take away guns and countries that allow firearms. Who has more rights? Who doesn't have more rights? You're telling me if we had no firearms, criminals wouldn't have firearms.
Yeah, you see, that's my point too. Just because you're making it illegal now, we kind of fucked while they have
100%.
everything else.
100%.
And you don't have anything to defend yourself.
Exactly. You want
Because you can't
dangerous, good humans
can't kick a bullet. Bro.
to fight bad humans.
Yeah. I mean,
It's that simple.
You got to be a wolf to hunt a wolf in the state. Yeah, you can't
100%.
be.
So-
What's that saying that says you have to be a warrior in a garden, not a gardener in a wall.
Yeah. Lots of saying, but
Actually,
are you doing
practicing,
it? Yeah.
training it?
And it comes into my industry. People that know me for this industry, it's the same thing. Guys like to talk a lot. Guys like to know the lingo and basically pretend. But are you actually doing the work? Numbers don't lie. So look at numbers. Don't look at what's new on social media or what that person did last week. What he did for the last 10 years. What is he doing for the next 10 years? What skills does he actually do? What has he provided? And it's a little bit different in our industry because we always have a saying, mats don't lie. So if that's what you say, let's see it on the mats. But in, like, say, for instance, the firearm world, there's a lot of guys that talk nonsense, but it's because there's no grounds to prove it. You can't get into a gunfight with the guy. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of guys will talk and say
Talk the
that,
shit, talk,
just
not walk the walk.
just get skills.
Get skills,
and
that's
it's not
basically-
hard.
So
That's
if you had
the thing.
so if I had to ask you, like, I come up to you, I'm walking into your gym, I say, Richie, give me 5 skills, 5 basic skills I need to know as a man.
So
What is it?
first one, medical. You'll use more medical stuff in your life than getting into a Hollywood gunfight. Right? Next thing, hand to hand. Get into a martial art. Third thing, firearms. Just those 3 things. There's many others, but those 3 things,
Will change your life.
you're pretty
Set.
set, Medical, hand to hand, and a firearm skills. You're pretty
Because
good.
if
there.
everything goes to shit,
Yeah, even if it doesn't go to shit, everyone wants to play the apocalypse scenario. And even if it doesn't, you got good skills in you. You can save a life. You can handle yourself with your martial arts hand to hand, and you can operate firearms. And operating firearms is not about getting into gunfights. You can go hunt. You can teach your kids, your wife. It can be a fun day for your family. You're learning different skills. You're in a different community. Vice versa with martial arts. Vice versa with the medical.
I mean, for me, I always look at it like you need to know these skills, and as you say, practice these skills because you might not need it. But if you put yourself in that situation and then you finally find yourself into that situation, then you're prepared. You're not worried. As you say, you'll probably save a life with the medical skills. You'll be able to, let's say what I can't even think of a scenario, but then you can hunt, you know how to kill like an animal,
100%.
how to cook the animal, you know, it's just the skills to know how to do it.
It's dying skills.
Yes.
Because it's not being put in the front line right now as importance.
Yes.
It's more important about your social media. It's more important how you look, what you say, you know, being in certain groups. So instead of actually, are you
actually it?
Yeah. Do you have the skills? Can you do X, Y, and Z? Because everyone talks about it and can talk it, but can you actually do it?
Do the walk.
That's. I mean, if you spend one day in my life and see how much I do, and you would never even, it won't even process.
Yes, yeah.
No, and when guys say, "Oh, I can't train," I'm like, what do you mean you can't? I don't understand. What do you? You probably on your phone. If you open up your phone now and I check your screen time, it's probably over 2 hours, guaranteed. The average human.
100%, bro.
But you don't have time. Okay. That makes total sense.
Yeah. Now you know who that kind of person is.
Yeah, but it's not that person. It's literally 90% of our population.
I wouldn't even think 99, to be very honest with you.
Yeah.
But what does a day in your life look like?
I'm an early guy. So I wake up.
You look like
I love mornings. Okay. So I'm a morning person. Obviously my first class is at 6 a.m. I wake up early. I do a whole lot of studying in the morning, and I have my morning routine that I get done. I come in, I teach my class.
On that, when you say you study, do you study just, as you say, more about the skills that you like, or do you study something random every now and then too?
So in terms of studying, so like everyone asks me because they see me, like if they knew when they come in the gym, they always see me studying. So everyone knows that I either have books or my iPad on me. So every day I study martial arts. I study medicine, I study shooting, I study a new skill. For instance, random skill like lockpicking. I study hunting. I do at least 5 to 6 hours of studying a day. So you know, and half of that has to be my work, which is martial arts. But the other half is my other things that I do.
Yeah, something you find interesting.
Yeah,
random skills, if you say that.
Yeah. Well, not random to me.
Not random to you, but random to somebody.
Yeah. So that's kind of it, and I'm teaching all day and studying all day basically, and every week I'm on the range 2 to 3 times a week, shooting. I'm doing medical work every week, every day with people. So
are you a religious man?
No, I wouldn't say I'm a religious man. No. I don't actually know. Could be, couldn't be. I don't know. Yeah.
Do you think more spiritual?
Nah,
do you meditate or anything like that?
No, I don't meditate. I think that spirituality thing is a bit of nonsense. But But I just I believe in being a good human. Yeah. Doing good deeds. Living a life the best of your ability. You know, as a human, what's right or wrong. And people say, religion gives you those morals of what's right or wrong, and 100%. So
it could give you a skewed version of it too.
Yeah. I just believe in being as a good human as much as you can, and doing good deeds. That's how it's
good to people.
100%. And we're not all perfect. I still make mistakes, but as long as we acknowledge what I've done or what the person's done, and
try
rectify it and not do it again, then I think you're on a good path. Yeah.
Tell me, okay, I'm gonna start ending this off. Tell me, where do you see the gym in the future? Where do you see yourself in the future? Do you have any big plans, any new moves?
In terms of the gym, we rapidly growing. We have a very amazing facility, a facility that people don't even understand right now in Africa.
Well, like me, I'm not going to lie to you guys. I walked into this place, I am shook. I've never seen a facility of this quality in my life. Honestly, this is crazy.
So we would like to show people this type of facility and the quality that we provide. In the facility, we're growing out. We have the biggest kids program in the whole of Africa. We have 100 kids on the mat every session.
Sorry, while you're on that point, what age do you think people should send their kids to start?
We start at 3 years old.
3 years old. Yeah. Okay.
So we have programs from 3 all the way up to adult. and we facilitate and segment the age groups. So like I said, in a kids class, we can come up to 100 kids on the mat.
Sure.
Yeah. And so, yeah, we really want to produce, that type of lineage, if you could say, from a kids program all the way into adults program. So as you started as a kid, this individual stays from 3 years old all the way up to, in his 20s and 30s, that's kind of how
it's a lifelong kind of thing.
100%, and if you look at athletes, that's also the way to do it. And then, obviously building a good amateur team and leading that into a pro team, our history speaks for itself for that. So we'd like to kind of regrow that because we were focusing more on our community the last few years.
So, sorry.
Yeah.
Do you train any fighters now, like pro fighters?
Yeah. So we have pro team. We have an amateur team and pro team. I mean,
I see you guys are #1 in Submission Kings, or I was looking at this that you shared.
Yeah. So like obviously Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is our base here.
Yes.
Wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, our base. So we have the biggest names in the whole of Africa that have come out of this gym. We have the everyday guy, 9 to 5, that's still competing at the highest level in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
So that was a big part the last few years that we wanted to do. So we've got like European champions, first female European champions, ADCC. Sure. So guys are traveling all over the world competing in grappling because now you can make money out of competing grappling. Where if I told people that 10 years ago, 6 years ago, they'll think you're crazy, Yeah. Right now, this weekend, there's a tournament for $1 million. And
$1 million is life changing, bro.
And you're grappling. You're not getting hit in the face.
You're grappling.
You're grappling. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So it's that's our big
say the
goal.
Numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie, bro. I mean, the amount of people that rock up to like say European championships, there was 5,000 competitors. That's not people coming in to watch. No, that's just your competitors.
That's actually a crazy number.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand how much 5,000 people is.
Yeah. Yeah. So Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is definitely growing tremendously. And, we're on that train right now. We're the only kind of registered IBJJF school here. So that's a big thing for us. A big plan for us is to keep going on that train and dominating and producing what we need to produce and introducing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to the everyday man and woman and kid, because it's something you can do to you 70. I mean, guys,
it'll keep you young, bro.
Yeah, so there's a cool guy in the community. That's why no one ever says they're really tired, because we've got a guy, his name's Dougie. He's 62 years old and he trains 6 days a week.
Fuck.
And he's a purple belt. So it's not like he's just started. He's been with us like 8 years, and he's 62 years old. So when guys say, "Oh, I'm old," or "I can't do it," or "I can't find time," or we just like, well, we've got
numbers don't lie.
Yeah, numbers don't lie. So, yeah, I mean, I think Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu is something you can just keep doing, and you can take it as far as you want, and it's great for the females. It's something we recommend as the number one thing.
It's important for a female to know how to defend themselves, especially if you're not there to do it for them.
100%, and they don't want to punch anyone. They'll break their hand. Men break their hands. So like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as a sport, and to give you that first line basis, I think it's a good thing. And we have really good females in here, some of the best in the world. So yeah, that's a big line. We obviously got the amateur team that we're growing now. We've got some really top amateurs. And obviously the pros, we've got Chad Hanekop, we've got Don Madge, so those are our big names right now. Obviously, Boyd Allen and all of the other guys. And, previously we focused mainly on athletes, and that's why you saw when you walk up, you got the little walk of fame there, and you'll see every person on that wall that is a big name. And now we'll focus more on it a little bit more. Go back into it and just provide a system if you want to be the everyday guy, or you just want to be a professional. So that's kind of the plan for the gym. Outside of the gym, just gaining skills always. We we provide skills as well to everyday public. There's a company called Deploy Concepts that we work with, and they provide those other skills that you're looking for. So doing a lot of different courses and programs with them, and that's kind of what we plan on. And we always think 5 years in advance. There's
it's chess, not checkers.
So we will outlast everyone at the end of the day.
Hey, that's the biggest, how do I say, skill, characteristic.
100%.
Just don't give up. Don't quit.
Exactly. And we're using
stamina.
Now using new technology. So we'll have a full-on online program that guys can get into.
So if they can't make it to the gym.
So we literally, or even if you're training at another gym, but you need information. So that's going to be launching soon. So we'll have a full-on online academy. You can think about that. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, striking,
online
wrestling.
Educated violence.
So,
so
a guy that wants to get more information, he can sign up, log in. If he wants to know about double legs, he clicks on, you watch. There's a whole lot of videos on that, or striking, how to throw a jab correctly, footwork. So that's our next step, is using the new technology and providing.
Staying with the times, as you say, you're keeping up with the times, bro.
100%. So
as you say, bro, this place is. It screams legacy, bro. What you were saying about the universities, you see those kind of things when you walk through it, and you see that, So I must say, dude, I didn't expect it to be this good. I'm taken aback by this place.
I mean, it's been a lot of hard work, and it's been long. I mean, we've been in the game pretty much the longest since the beginning. EFC was born out of this gym. So we've been here since the beginning, and we will outlast everyone at the end of the day, because we have a structure, we have a plan, and we're always thinking 5 years ahead of everyone. So we have some cool things coming up for the gym that will also take us to kind of that next level, which we're excited to announce soon, this year and next year. And I hope it all goes well. It should go well, and if it doesn't, we'll replan and redo it. And that's kind of what we're getting up to.
So I've got last question to wrap it up. I've got a question from my previous guest. He didn't know who my next guest was, so I've got a thing that the guest asked the next guest. So his question is, if your life story was a book, who would you dedicate it to?
Who would I dedicate it to? Wow. That is a
deep
very good question. My life story is pretty much a book, because my life is about education. And if it's a book, well, books are supposed to educate people. So my life is dedicated to my community, to the people that are around me. I'm trying to be a living book to help people. That's what my life is about. I'm here to, if you don't have a skill, I'm here to provide you that skill. And I hope that
an embodiment of it.
That when people look at me, I hope they look at me as I live what I say. And
you lead by example, bro. You don't just say something and not do it.
100%. And the guys here see it every day. So it's not that they don't see it. They see it every single day. What I do on the mat and off the mat, the community sees it. So
there's no doubts about it.
There's no doubts about it. And it's easy for individuals to call me out on it if they don't see it. And I like that. I love challenges because it makes you push a little bit more. So that's a great one, and it would basically be dedicated to everyone that's around me, my community, because that's exactly what I want.
Tell me, last thing, where can everybody find you guys on social media? Quan
Vessels, Instagram, quanvessels.cozo. There's a lot of information on our website. Come out. We open 6 days a week. We run over 30 classes a week. So you'll definitely find a class for yourself. We are dedicated to the families and to the everyday man and to the professional athletes as well. And all we want to do is make people better on the mat and off the mat.
Lovely. Dude, again, thank you so much for hosting us here today, making time and having this conversation.
Thank you for having me.
Really great. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys have any comments, any requests or anything like that, please leave it in the comment section on our video. Subscribe to our channel, and yeah, we will see you guys on the next episode. Cheers.
Thank you.
Re-entry initiated. Incoming message. The Modern Man Podcast.